Tonight on America in Black.
I put myself in a position where I had to sink or swim.
Michael B. Jordan is an actor, producer, one of the sexiest men alive, and now the director of his latest film, Creed 3.
It was a freeing experience. It was almost like my therapy.
The blockbuster star opens up to Gayle King about his latest role and efforts to change Hollywood.
That's why, I work so hard to tell these stories.
And
how sad that we actually even have to have an act that says it's okay for you to wear your hair how it naturally grows out of your head.
the right to wear your hair free from discrimination is now a legal fight.
Uneven justice is unequal justice.
Danya Bacchus examines the fight to pass the Crown Act and the struggle over acceptance of Black hair.
They all told me the same thing, you should wear your hair straight.
Plus,
a lot of people are still questioning whether or not marriage is valid.
Marriage rates in the U.S. are falling, and they are falling fastest in the Black community.
Everybody's doing this. Everybody's doing this.
Love is not an easy task.
I really had to start working on myself.
Why does it feel as if finding true love today is harder than ever? Jerika Duncan looks at the reality behind the statistics.
You know there are women out there who will say, I'm ready for the partner and potentially a family.
And I hope that it happens, but I hope it happens on your terms.
And later, Comedy Central's Roy Wood Jr. drops the mic on why the Oscars are still so white. All this and more, tonight on America in Black.
Good evening to you, and welcome to America in Black. I'm CBS Morning's co-host Gayle King. You know, there may be no Hollywood star that is hotter than Michael B. Jordan right now. He is hot, 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 on fire. Not only is he starring in this weekend's debut of Creed 3, but it also marks his directorial debut. And while Jordan is proud, very proud of his professional success, he's also committed to helping people succeed, both inside and outside of the entertainment industry. We caught up with Mr. Jordan in his hometown of Newark, New Jersey, where he hosted a basketball showcase to benefit student athletes at HBCUs. Michael B. Jordan has played unforgettable characters on the small screen.
I just got tired of that same old.
And the big screen.
Hey, Auntie.
But growing up, that B stood for baller. We're sitting here in Newark, your hometown, at the Prudential Center. I love that your email back in the day was, basketball is life, nothing else matters. So basketball matters to you.
For sure.
You dreamed of being a basketball player in the NBA.
Definitely.
And the award-winning actor came back home to host his annual basketball showcase featuring historically Black colleges and universities. His family moved to New Jersey from California when he was just a toddler. Jordan is a middle child. His little brother Khalid went to HBCU, Howard University. You wanted to bring attention to HBCUs.
Yes.
Why was that important to you?
Because I was trying to find a way to level the playing field. HBCUs don't get the attention nor the funds to have the same opportunities to be seen, to be recognized. So I tried to find a way to kind of start, small, in its legacy and build year after year to give these players a real look and educate them along the way. Financial literacy, they have to learn how to take care of their money. There's a lot of things that's building into the idea behind giving players opportunities to not just to survive, but to thrive,
And Jordan is thriving in his own right. The 36-year-old actor is making his directorial debut with Creed 3. Last time we talked, you said, I often wonder, do you remember saying this?
Yeah.
Could I do this?
Yeah.
Back in 2018, he told us watching longtime collaborator Ryan Coogler in action made him wonder.
Looking at this brother direct, I'm like, wow, can I do that? I never knew that I could do that. Somebody my age that looks like me from similar places, similar family backgrounds, I never knew that that was an option for me like that.
Well, mission accomplished. Take us behind your process.
Okay.
Because some of the shot choices, I'm curious about how you decided what you were going to do.
Definitely.
Because it's very distinct.
Thank you. No, everything was very intentional. Obviously, you leave room for spontaneity, but I shot listed and prepared. So from the shot design to the color palette. I'm a very visual person, so like colors and just those warm, vibrant feeling that you get from color, I wanted to bring that into this film. And I wanted to camera operate as well. I love camera operating, so I got a chance to get behind the camera physically on this one as well, which was a lot of fun. And setting up cinematic shots. I wanted things to feel very cinematic and big, you know? I wanted to shoot boxing like we haven't seen them before. So we used IMAX cameras to make it more immersive. That's why you feel so in the world, in the ring with these fighters.
You said that you felt yourself growing in this role too, in this new chapter in your life. What do you mean by that?
Growing in the sense of shedding my old self.
What was your old self that you were shedding, and what's the new self?
I think it was, it's one of the themes in the movie as well, is like, you know, owning and deserving and feeling like you deserve the blessings that you have, you know? Feeling worthy of where you are is something that is easily said but not often lived. And for myself, I put myself in a position where I had to sink or swim. You know, I had to run towards that, my past, my, you know, inner demons, my insecurities, my fears. And that's why, you know, throughout this film, you'll see and feel those themes through other characters in the movie. And it was just it was a freeing experience. It was almost like my therapy. You know, when it was all said and done, when I got finished with it, it was a release, and I felt very proud of that.
And let's talk about the history of Adonis and Damien, you and Jonathan Majors together.
You don't remember me, huh?
Jonathan Majors introduces a new character to the franchise, Damien Anderson, a friend from Adonis Creed's troubled past. Tell us about that relationship on and off screen, because it was fascinating to watch the two of you. It was scary at times because it was so intense.
Yes, I love Jonathan Majors. He is
I do too.
He is a force and a good person. You know, he's somebody I'm lucky enough to call my brother and a friend. And when I gave him the call, I cold called him, you know.
You cold called him?
Yeah, I mean, I gave him a slight warning through his reps, but I just picked up the phone and called him one night. I was, you know, I was in New York, and I gave him a call, and I pitched him the whole story. He hung up the phone, called me back 20 minutes later, and was like, yeah, all right, let's do it. Let's go, let's do it. You know?
Did you all exchange workout tips?
We worked
because
out.
At times, just watching the two of you, I said, I have to go see this at the Magic Johnson Theater in Harlem, because there will be a lot of talking to the screen.
No, Jonathan, yeah.
That was lovely to watch. Thank you for that.
You are okay. So I'll pass the message along to him for sure.
Okay.
We you know, we're competitive, and we looked at, you know, we sat back and looked at other, you know, films that had two, you know, leads and, you know, that physical nature, and we were like, all right, we want to go after all of them. We want to top them all.
Jordan is pushing the needle of inclusivity too.
And this film is, you know, the most sign language that we've ever had. You know, my daughter,
with
you
your
know, is
daughter
deaf,
in the
you know,
movie,
ASL. So physical language is something that I wanted throughout this movie, and I wanted that to come off in our fights, because that is another form of sign language. We're fighting with our hands. You know, we're using our hands to speak and communicate through a warrior's language, a fighter's language inside the ring. So I wanted that to be its own language, along with ASL, along with you know, Spanish, because of a huge Latin presence in this film as well.
You're the first major star that's insisted on an inclusive rider. What does that mean exactly, and why did you do that? That's huge.
I got inspired, and I, you know, helped write the language for Warner Media and Warner Brothers. Me and my legal team, my entertainment team, we helped write the language that, you know, a person of color from any ethnicity, any physical background would be able to audition for and to interview for a high key position throughout a project. And that trickled down throughout all of Warner Media companies. So that was a really big step for me.
One of Jordan's most well-known roles was opposite actor Chadwick Boseman in Black Panther. But it wasn't the first time these two had crossed paths.
Look, you can just squash that right now.
They played the same character in the soap opera All My Children.
It's insane.
I do think that's insane.
And
the bond that creates. You know, he liked to pass a baton. It seems like you do as well.
We're brothers, you know, in a real way, even before we even realized it, you know, and literally passing each other in the hallway, you know, of All My Children.
Boseman raised concerns about the character feeling like a racial stereotype. He said he was let go from the show a day later. When Jordan took over, he says changes had been made for the better.
and then years later being able to work together, on Black Panther and become and be cousins, Unfortunately, not being able to really, to do that again in the second film. But yes, that he passed his spirit, his essence, I'm pushing that forward.
Jordan's acting career spans decades. We asked him about his breakout role in Fruitvale Station, a film based on the real-life police killing of Oscar Grant. And we talked about the violence we continue to see today, including in the case of Tyree Nichols.
That movie means so much, and really put the world on notice in a real way, and I'm exhausted. We all are exhausted, but for me, I have to be optimistic and, put my attention and energy into the positive things. That's why, I work so hard to tell these stories and to, give more opportunities to people so they can walk in their truth and their light and start finding their purpose in things.
As for his future, this actor turned director says he's just getting started.
I'm in my light right now. This is my Jordan year. I mean that. This is my year. There's so much going on, so many blessings, so many great things. This is at a point in my career where there's not a lot of people telling me no, and everything's wide open.
Coming up next, Black hair and the fight for the Crown Act.
What is your hope for the future when we talk about Black hair? I hope that we just show up and it's expected, like it's a normal thing.
And a revealing look at the state of Black love in 2023.
Black women, we're doing this thing to where we don't have to just settle for anything anymore.
How many of you all want to be married?
And Roy Wood Jr. drops the mic on the unrelenting whiteness of the Oscars. When America in Black continues in a moment.
Welcome back to America in Black. I'm CBS News correspondent Danya Backus. Black hair. Those two words elicit a range of emotions in the Black community. Silk press, braids, locks, afros, kinks, coils. There are so many ways Black people wear their hair, and for many it's a form of identity and expression with historical and personal significance. But throughout history, Black hair has faced discrimination and negativity from inside and outside our community. In the barbershop or the salon, everyone has a Black hair story. And we found that story reverberates all the way to the halls of Congress as Black people continue to seek the freedom to wear their hair wherever and however they choose.
My mom actually was a cosmetologist, so my hair was always done, always permed, always stringy straight, because, you can't go out in public looking crazy according to standards.
Imani Nash Bay is the owner of Hair Story, a natural hair salon in Upland, California, where we held a panel of 4 women.
I never even knew what my own hair texture looked like until I got older and decided that I was gonna go natural. I thought it was gonna be like this big, horrible, huge mess. And then when I did it, and then I figured out that I can just use my fingers and curl it, like it was beautiful, and I had curls, and I was like, who knew?
Dr. April Clay is Nash Bay's longtime client.
I wanted to have freedom with my hair. Didn't enjoy all the pulling and tugging that happened when I got it done, and I wanted to always just be me. So about 6 years ago, I chose Sister Locks and have never looked back.
Celebrity hairstylist Micah Brown is the owner of the Press and Curl Bar Salon in downtown Los Angeles.
My mom decided she would put a jerry curl in my hair, but the jerry curl didn't work. So she takes me to like the corner salon and they put a perm on my hair. On top of that, in the same day, I still have issues with my natural hair. And I think that is just something that I'm still coming into, But with my clients, it is very important that they understand how beautiful their hair is.
One of those clients is Crystal Ship.
I think my journey started a lot like people in the 70s, getting your hair pressed and your ears burned and getting your first relaxer. When I got to college, I saw Sister Locks for the first time and dreads for the first time, and so got a little bit more expressive with my hair. My hair journey, it spans all of the different genres.
The beauty of black hair and its functionality hasn't always been embraced by mainstream America, and quite frankly, the black community.
What do you guys think about the fact that the words that were used to describe our hair were so negative?
I mean, it was negative, but on top of that, it was your own peers. Some of the kids that would tease me and say, you got B2Bs, you got buckshots, her hair nappy, ha, ha, ha.
It just felt like another N-word.
There you go, right
And that is
there.
absolutely it. And
Right
it's generational trauma.
The idea that black textured hair was quote unquote bad and European hair or hair that's closer to straight and long is better started in this country during slavery on plantations.
Ayanna Bird is the co-author of Hair Story, Untangling the Roots of Black Hair in America. She says that any baggage African Americans carry regarding their hair should come as no surprise.
It was one more way to convince enslaved people that they were not as good as white people. It was dirty, it was coarse, it was bad, and that there was something animalistic about it. These ideas were told directly to enslaved black mothers, with the idea being that they would pass those messages on to their children.
The ever-present message that black hair isn't acceptable has led to the creating a respectful and open world for natural hair, or the Crown Act, a law making it illegal to deny someone educational or employment opportunities because of their hair texture or protective hairstyles. Since 2019, there have been efforts to pass the law at the local, state, and federal levels.
Do you guys feel like the Crown Act is necessary?
Yes. Oh, absolutely necessary.
Absolutely.
How sad that we actually even have to have an act that says it's okay for you to wear your hair how it naturally grows out of your head. Like, we have to have a law about that? That's crazy.
I'm tired of asking permission for something that naturally comes from me. This is how I was born.
We have all these extra thoughts. Okay, am I gonna look like this? Are they gonna say I look ghetto? Or are they gonna say that, I look like a pickaninny? When other cultures, it's not even a thought. They just are who they are, and it's fine.
You walk in the door and it's almost like my hair and my skin walked in before me.
Even I had the fear of doing this and going on air. Are people gonna look at me and not hear what I'm saying? Am I gonna be less credible?
The tangible impacts of hair discrimination on black women are far more than just hurt feelings. A 2023 Crown Coalition workplace research study found that black women's hair is 2.5 times more likely to be perceived as unprofessional.
She said, "Are those dreadlocks in your hair?" I said, "Yes, they are." She said, "We can accept that here."
In 2013, Chastity Jones sued for discrimination and lost wages after she says an employer rescinded a job offer at an Alabama call center because she refused to cut her hair.
I knew the job, or you wouldn't have hired me. It just had everything to do with my hair.
Her claim was dismissed, but in 2018, the NAACP filed a petition to bring her case to the U.S. Supreme Court. They declined to hear it. Alabama has yet to pass the Crown Act.
April, in wearing your natural hair and wearing your locks, have you ever faced any discrimination?
It actually has shaped the trajectory of my career. I did not wake up one day and say, I just need to go into business for myself. That's not what I wanted, but I feel like the industry pushed me out because being in there was so very abusive. The microaggressions, the comments.
Black men are not immune from hair discrimination. In 2021, audiovisual technician Jeffrey Thornton sued Encore Global, a company he previously worked for, after he applied for a job in San Diego, California.
I expected that I was to remove my ear gauges. It's not a problem. I'd be willing to trim my facial hair. But I wasn't prepared to be told that I would need to cut my hair.
California led the nation as the first state to pass the Crown Act in 2019. Thornton's case was the first Crown Act lawsuit in the state. A settlement was reached.
I have everybody in the stands watching me. They're stripping my identity. They're taking it away from me.
One of the most shocking instances of hair discrimination took place in New Jersey in December 2018. Then 16-year-old Andrew Johnson was participating in a school wrestling match when he was given an ultimatum by the referee: cut his locks or forfeit his match. Wanting to compete, he was forced to agree. That referee would later receive a 2-year suspension for incorrectly enforcing a rule about wrestler hair length. Johnson was recently interviewed for the CBS Sports Network documentary, Crown.
Every day I think about it, I couldn't get that ref's face out of my mind. It's painful. I wouldn't want anybody else to go through that.
New Jersey passed the Crown Act. To date, 20 states in total have. At the federal level, the bill passed in the House of Representatives in 2021 and 2022.
The Creating a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair Act is passed.
But it's failed to make it out of the Senate.
This is an American issue. It's to make more real on the promise of America for all.
New Jersey Senator Cory Booker has been a sponsor of the Federal Crown Act.
If states have passed this law and local municipalities also taking up this issue, why is it important that it's passed on a federal level?
Uneven justice is unequal justice. These are things that the federal government should speak to. Your rights as an American should not be determined by what state you live in when it comes to fundamental civil rights. And the freedom from discrimination based upon your natural hair is something that I think is worthy of making sure that we are really protecting people.
Do you have plans to reintroduce the bill?
I absolutely do. Your hair is something sacred. It's a crown of sorts. This is something that goes deep into our ancestry.
Actor Tabitha Brown is well known for her crown.
The reason you need to sign the Crown Act petition is because hair discrimination needs to end.
She's also a major proponent of the Crown Act.
We all deserve to be free to roam about the cabin, right? To walk around in your natural state. There's somebody struggling right now with code switching. There's somebody struggling right now with conforming. There's somebody struggling right now with thinking their look is not professional. But they see me and I show up, honey, on TV in an interview, okay? With a whole afro, looking very professional.
Just because someone puts you on a pedestal doesn't mean you have to live there.
Brown has appeared in the Showtime series The Chi, has more than 9 million followers on Instagram and TikTok, and last year launched a vegan hair care line called Donna's Recipe. Donna is what she affectionately calls her hair.
Would you attribute some of your success to Donna?
Oh, girl, yeah, listen. Donna is the one that's famous, not me, okay? They all told me the same thing. You should wear your hair straight. You're a brown woman. You're a darker skin tone.
Did you find that that helped you get jobs?
I mean, you didn't know me back then.
The Crown Act is an instrument designed to help society reconcile with past and present discrimination. Uneasy has laid the head that has worn the crown.
What is your hope for the future when we talk about black hair?
That there's not a separate conversation. I hope that we just show up and it's expected. Like, it's a normal thing, right? I think we deserve that.
Not having to think about what does it mean when they walk out the door into the world.
Changing the narrative so that when the younger ones come up, it's an automatic thing, like, of course I'm gonna have natural hair. What do you mean, straighten it? Their natural hair is beautiful, their natural hair is theirs, their natural hair makes them who they are.
Coming up next, is finding black love harder than ever?
Everybody's doing this. Everybody's doing this. You're not this, you're that. You're not this.
And Roy Wood Jr. drops the mic on the Oscars, Still So White.
Not even anything for Viola Davis. And you can't tell me Viola didn't deserve a trophy. She was outside basically the whole movie.
When America in Black continues in a moment.
Welcome back to America in Black. I'm CBS News correspondent Jerika Duncan. In the last 50 years, marriage rates in this country have dropped significantly. Right now, less than half of adults are married, a record low. And the decline is even more dramatic for Black people, with more and more identifying as single and living alone. Some have wondered whether it's cause for concern or simply a reflection of changing attitudes towards a centuries-old institution. Well, tonight, we uncover some of the reasons for the shift and explore whether the increasing number of Black people living single is by choice or by circumstance.
Well,
Looks like we're all done.
No, we're not.
Well, what's left?
Who wouldn't want love like this?
My beautiful wife she's the real MVP.
When you hear Black love, what comes to mind?
Us.
Yeah.
But when it comes to finding love, why does it seem so elusive? Over the last 50 years, marriage rates in the U.S. have been on a steady decline, and those trends are most pronounced among Black people. The latest studies show close to 60% don't live with a spouse or a partner. That's almost double of any other racial and ethnic group. Understanding the widening gap can be complicated.
Some people think that we can be hard to deal with.
The ratio to men and women here, it is not the greatest.
I see all these relationships online, and for me, it's just sometimes they just be putting on.
Black women, we're doing this thing to where we are reaching our full potential. And because of that, we don't have to just settle for anything anymore.
Actress Paris Camper recently played Don Cornelius' wife Dolores in the BET original series American Soul.
And I knew that I would wait for you and that we would get married.
But in real life, marriage was never Paris' focus.
I wasn't really checking for a relationship, or I was just dating. I want to be true to who I am, and I'm okay if I don't get married.
I am open to the idea, but it just has to be right.
Sociologist Chris Marsh is the author of the new book, The Love Jones Cohort, Single and Living Alone in the Black Middle Class.
I am single by choice. I will tell anybody, do not come in here and disrupt my peace. If you're not going to protect my peace and preserve my peace, I'm not interested.
It's funny you say that because I never forget, I think it was my senior year of high school, and my father encouraged me to stay loyal to my career because it'll be more loyal to you than any man. But my mom was on the other side and said, but a career can't keep you warm at night.
Like, yes, a career cannot keep you warm at night, but you got a whole bunch of heated blankets and stuff that
While many people struggle to find their ideal partner, Marsh says addressing systemic issues could increase the pool of financially stable and educated singles.
We often make it an individual conversation. Black women have to do this, that, and the other. Why must the onus always be on Black women? You want me to lower my standards? Because I've heard that too. But we don't want to be out here fighting about this discrimination that exists in the labor market. We don't want to fight about the racism that still exists in the housing market. We don't want to think about the educational level of Black women to men. As a sociologist, I would argue, how about we think about it more from a structural perspective? How about you pay Black folks reparations, and then you might see the marriage rates change.
Help us understand how you believe reparations could increase the rate of Black people getting married.
We have to understand that at some point, Black Americans could not own property. If you pay Black folks reparations, you now have increased the pool of people that have resources, they have wealth, and you might see the marriage rates increase for Black America.
From there, it was off to a city with a large Black middle class, Atlanta.
Okay, well, hello, everybody.
We gathered a group of singles to get their take on the challenges they face when it comes to finding love.
Right.
And enlisted the help of relationship expert, Pastor Calvin Roberson, author of Marriage Ain't for Punks and co-host of the hit TV series Married at First Sight.
We're here to talk about love, Black love.
What's so special about two Black people coming together to partner, to say, I do?
So I think it's the roots and where we come from, and I also think it's a sense of understanding. I don't have a problem necessarily with interracial relationships because I just feel like love is love. You know what I mean? Like I do. I feel like love is love, but I also feel like the importance of Black love is so that things don't get lost.
I love the roots aspect and it's an ancestral connection. Like our lived experiences, we just don't have to explain existing as a Black person in America.
I want somebody who is going to understand the struggles that I'm going through, and I understand them as well.
Show of hands, how many of you all want to be married one day? So that's four out of 6, marriage is the goal.
I'm like half and half, I want the commitment, but if you still gonna cheat on me, then why
that's where marriage to me doesn't equate
commitment necessarily.
Yeah.
It's not like the ultimate act
Right.
of commitment.
Pastor Cal, as you're listening to this, you saw the show of hands.
Yeah. A lot of people are questioning whether or not marriage is valid. I mean, is that safe to say? There are a lot of people who get into marriages and they're not ready for it. And so it kind of really screws it up for everybody else who's sitting on the sideline looking and say, wow, this is what marriage looks like, this is what marriage looks like, then I don't want it.
I want to bring Carlos into the conversation. You're somebody that's ready for a committed relationship, but you're hesitant.
What's happening? Everybody's doing this. Everybody's doing this. You're not this, you're that. I'm not here as a man wanting to be with you based on your status, because your status ain't gonna hug me and kiss me on the head and say, it's gonna be all right, baby. That Gucci purse you got ain't gonna say, baby, let me rub your head. You got some lint on your eyebrow. That Gucci purse ain't gonna do that.
You're preaching now. So, well,
At this restaurant across town, singles are on a mission. They're looking for love and possibly marriage.
You're going to answer some of your questions about the opposite sex.
The Singles Mixer was hosted by husband and wife Joseph and Paris Dixon, owners of the matchmaking service and dating app Real Black Love.
We've done each party with 500 singles. We've done intimate parties like this.
You definitely have to have that human element.
Right.
We live in a technology-driven society where people don't have the chance to interact one-on-one.
Do you believe there is someone out there for everyone?
I do.
Yes, I do. Now, whether,
We do.
whether,
We do.
whether they're ready to receive that person
Right.
is a whole other
Right.
thing.
Dating apps like Real Black Love and Match.com's BLK would seem to make the job of finding love easier. How many of you all have used a dating app? Raise your hand. Everybody.
Everybody.
You know that.
What is it like? What does that look like?
Laughter, it's comical, it's entertainment, it's scary.
contaminated.
Maybe you're not on the right one.
Yeah, you might not be on the right one.
A dating app is very much just a tool. Like, I have to be clear about what it is that I'm looking for on it.
I've come across more men that right out of the box come through. Come through where? My hotel. Okay, bye. You just got blocked. I mean, everything is about sex.
Apps are not necessarily designed to fulfill those deep needs. They're designed for hookups. A lot of times they're meat markets, not mate markets. The people we connect with them in our social groups. If it's school, if it's church, if it's our jobs.
What I get from this whole conversation is that love is not an easy task. It's not something that should be taken lightly. It's not something that should be played with.
How important is it for single people to do the work on themselves as they're also looking for a partner?
I realized I was attracting the same type of men. And it's like, I don't want this. So I started doing some internal work to realize what is it in me that is attracting these same type of characteristics that I say I don't want, these same type of actions that I say I don't want. And when I really started working on myself, that's when I realized that the spaces and the people around me started becoming more aligned with the person that I really wanted to be.
And while finding that special someone isn't easy, sociologist Chris Marsh encourages singles to lean into the love they already have.
We have found girlfriends, we have found sister circles, we have all kinds of relationships with other women that allow us to embrace and flourish in our singleness. So while you're waiting for the romantic partner, please don't underestimate or undervalue the non-romantic partners and the sister girls that you have in your circle that you can draw from.
You know, there are women out there who will say, I've done the work, I'm of a certain age, I make great money, I'm ready for the partner and potentially a family.
And I hope that it happens, but I hope it happens on your terms.
And remember Parie's perspective on the joys of singlehood and building a career. Well, she now goes by Mrs. Last summer, she married her longtime friend and fellow actor, Jeremy Rivers.
I just want to say, to Black women, live your life. Live your life, live your purpose. Whoever this guy is, he comes along. He is not going to derail you from your journey, right? When your paths intersect, you're going to find out that the path that he was on and the path that you are on is actually in the same direction, that you can go together.
Talk your stuff, baby.
Hey, I'll be here all week.
Coming up next, Roy Wood Jr. drops the mic on the Oscars, Still So White.
Gina Prince Bythewood's film, The Woman King, which grossed $100 million globally and got a stellar 94% score on Rotten Tomatoes, was shut out of the Academy nominations. In all categories, all of them. Not Best Film, Director, Set Design, Best Film in Africa, nothing. Not even anything for Viola Davis. And you can't tell me Viola didn't deserve a trophy. She was outside basically the whole movie.
When America in Black continues in a moment.
Hey, it's Roy Wood Jr. I want to discuss something that happens every year on a Sunday in March, an event that leaves black people stressed and infuriated at the horrors of discrimination and its lasting impacts on our people. No, not the annual Bloody Sunday commemoration in Selma. I'm talking about the other event on a Sunday in March that also leaves black people stressed and infuriated, speaking about the horrors of discrimination and its lasting impacts on our people. Yes, the Oscars. Now, in spite of diversifying their leadership and their voting body, the Academy still fails to adequately recognize content for and by black people. Director Gina Prince Bythewood's film, The Woman King, which grossed $100 million globally and got 94% score from Rotten Tomatoes, was shut out of all Academy nominations. In all categories, every category. Not Best Film, not Best Director, Set Design, Best Movie Set in Africa, nothing. Not even anything for Viola Davis. And you can't tell me Viola didn't deserve a trophy. She was outside the whole movie. She was indoors one time, and that's when John Boyega let her come by the crib to take a bath. Now, in reaction to the lack of nominations, Bythewood said this to The Hollywood Reporter, quote, "The Woman King wasn't snubbed. A snub is if it missed out on a category or two. The film was not nominated for one single craft. It's not a snub. It's a reflection of where the Academy stands and the consistent chasm between black excellence and recognition." Now, since 2015, when April Reign bravely proclaimed the Oscars so white, the Motion Picture Academy has worked to improve diversity, but they so secretive it's hard to tell how much has changed. The whole point of diversity is to be transparent. Now, here's what we do know about the Academy for sure. It's about 8,000 members, of which only 15% are people of color. Not black, people of color. Oh, and the Academy won't tell you who all the members are, and to get a shot at becoming a member, 2 members have to vouch for you, or you yourself have to be a nominee. And some of the members, they're stagnant. They haven't worked in the industry for years. Should they be voting? And the ones that are voting have also openly admitted that they're not even watching the films that they're voting on. So keep all of that in mind before you allow yourself to get completely infuriated. And I don't say this to discredit the Oscars as a whole. To just be black and be nominated, it's a beautiful thing. Winning one is even better. Either way, you have an opportunity to become a change agent within this system. So come Oscar Sunday, I'll be pulling for Angela Bassett and Brian Tyree Henry and Rihanna. But if they get snubbed, take solace in knowing that The Wire never won an Emmy and Beyonce still doesn't have a Grammy for Album of the Year. It's all kind of weird. And if that's not enough to calm you down and you're still upset, the next March, I suggest you do something a little more relaxing. Visit Selma.
Coming up next month on America in Black.
My first song came out when I was 16.
In those days, though, did you think at that time, like, this is what my life's work is gonna be? Or did you think hip-hop is just here for a minute?
I was following the light.
In honor of hip-hop's 50th anniversary, America in Black and Entertainment Tonight's Nichelle Turner sit down exclusively with hip-hop icon LL Cool J.
There was no slick, clever, strategic. It was, you know what, I'm following my gut, my instincts.
Hear how a 16-year-old Todd Smith exploded on the scene and lifted hip-hop to new heights.
So you didn't have expectations, you just knew you had, like, this passion and this dream.
No, I had desires.
Okay.
I had desires that weren't limited by fear.
LL opens up about the core belief that fueled his groundbreaking career in music and in Hollywood.
A cunning hare has more than one burrow.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I just didn't want to be controlled. So basically I freed myself up by going and not limiting myself.
And LL pulls no punches assessing his standing in the hip-hop game.
Are you the GOAT?
All this and the return of the acclaimed Ed Gordon, reporting on the ongoing battle for reparations in California.
Reparations is a debt owed. And as a person who is descendant of American chattel slavery, we have not been paid our debt.
And the hot tea on the celebrity blogger behind the Instagram account with 27 million followers and counting, The Shade Room. All next month on America in Black.